All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a seriously profound narrative. We're going to deconstruct the powerful mechanics of success hidden inside a classic parable. It's the story of Kabir, and man, it contains this fascinating psychological framework for totally transforming your reality, literally no matter where you're starting from.
So this is the central question we really have to ask ourselves right off the bat. How does a boy with empty pockets actually build an empire? We're going to map out exactly how someone goes from a state of total deprivation to creating massive exponential success. It's a journey that reveals the raw nuts and bolts of ambition, and trust me, the emotional stakes couldn't be higher here.
Section 1. A boy with empty pockets. The pain of poverty versus the power of a dream.
You see, Kabir's life was defined by this incredibly stark contrast. His physical reality? Absolutely bleak. We're talking a tiny village, empty pockets, shoes with literal holes in them, and going to bed hungry most nights. But hidden inside him was something nobody else could see, this burning, undeniable desire to change his family's destiny. He had this absolute hunger to do something massive, something that would fundamentally flip the script on his fate. It really highlights the immense internal conflict going on with our protagonist.
But as you might guess, every time Kabir shared this incredible vision, people just laughed at him, like right in his face. This quote really captures the heavy societal doubt he was up against. How can a boy with empty pockets think about big things? You should only think about earning bread for the next day. It perfectly sets up the status quo he was dealing with. The world is actively trying to keep him boxed in, grounded in his immediate physical suffering. And yeah, those words hurt him deeply, but deep down, he knew for sure his future wasn't limited to his present condition.
Moving on to Section 2, the mirror and the fire, the mentor's intervention and the psychology of belief.
So, picture this. One evening, Kabir is sitting by a river, just feeling entirely defeated by all the mocking and doubt from his village. And along comes this old, wise teacher named Guruji. When Kabir finally confesses that everyone keeps telling him his dreams are way too big for his empty hands, Guruji just hands him a mirror. And he asks this incredibly poignant question. Do you see the pain in your eyes? Now look deeper. Can you see the fire hidden behind that pain? I really want you to just sit with that tension for a second, that intense pull between the pain of your current reality and that inner burning drive you have to change it. Okay, so the absolutely crucial point is what Guruji says next. He looks at Kabir and says, this fire is your belief. Most people ignore it and give up. He's explicitly calling out that the fire is belief. And belief is this crucial yet incredibly fragile thing. Most people, they just allow the crushing weight of hardship to completely snuff it out. They ignore it, they let the pain take the wheel, and they just surrender to their circumstances.
But Guruji wasn't just throwing out empty platitudes here. He was giving Kabir a highly practical 3-step psychological framework for success. Step 1, protect the fire. You absolutely have to guard your belief. Step 2, feed it with courage and discipline. It's going to light your path even in the darkest nights, but only if you actively feed it. And step 3, clean the mirror with actions to see your true self. Guruji warned him that people are constantly going to try to cover his mirror with the dust of doubt. They'll try to convince him he's not enough. And the only way to clear that dust? Relentless, undeniable action.
Which brings us to Section 3, the relentless grind, translating belief into relentless action.
Now, Kabir took that message to heart immediately. But let's be real. To sustain that kind of extreme action, you need a powerful core motivation. You need a massive why. And for Kabir, it was a sick mother who constantly needed medicine they just couldn't afford, and an aging, exhausted farmer father who worked all day under the blazing sun only to come home with empty hands. This was exactly why he was willing to sacrifice his sleep, his comfort, and even his food. He wasn't just dreaming of passing a class or getting a decent job. He was dreaming of rewriting his family's literal survival. His relentless action literally covered every single hour of the day. After hitting school in the morning, his evenings were spent washing glasses and serving folks at a small tea shop. Then on weekends, he shadowed a local mechanic to pick up technical skills. And at night, while the rest of the village was fast asleep, he was studying with laser focus under a single dim light. I mean, this is what feeding the fire with discipline actually looks like in practice. He never stopped because his mirror, his ultimate dream, was always right there in front of him.
Section 4, building the empire. The mechanics of exponential growth.
So years of this brutal grind, coupled with just a fiercely strong will, finally started to pay off. He launched a tiny mobile repair business in a small corner of the village.
And his growth, it was driven by some pretty strict, unyielding principles. We're talking saving every single rupee with extreme care, treating every customer with the utmost respect, and reinvesting every tiny bit of profit right back into an electronics shop. By planning incredibly smart, he eventually launched his very own brand of mobile accessories. It's literally a masterclass in bootstrapping.
He actually scaled his operation from one single shop all the way to 3. And what's really fascinating and honestly kind of poetic here is the beautiful irony of this growth. Remember those exact same people from his village who laughed at his torn bag and empty pockets? Yeah, well, they were now the ones waiting outside his office, hoping for a chance to work with him. Crazy, right?
But bringing the whole narrative arc back to his original goal, this right here is the real victory. His ultimate success effectively saved his family. His mother's medical treatment, fully secured and regular. His father finally got to lay down his tools and no longer had to break his back working out in the fields. That powerful why that kept him going through those darkest nights had finally definitively been answered.
And finally, Section 5, the power of thinking big, the ultimate boon and final takeaway.
So years later, a highly successful Kabir welcomes his old mentor back. Guruji looks around at the incredible empire Kabir has built, smiles, and drops this profound observation. The world tries to make poor boys think small, but those who dare to think big rewrite their story. Defying societal expectations isn't just some act of teenage rebellion, it's the fundamental key to rewriting your entire destiny. The world is always going to try to shrink your ambitions to match your current circumstances.
And that brings us directly to the core thesis of this explainer. Guruji told Kabir that he is living, breathing proof of this undeniable fact. Dreams are not measured by the money in your pocket, but by the vision in your heart. You really have to connect Kabir's journey back to your own internal potential here. Whatever your physical reality is right now, no matter how bleak or difficult it might feel, it does absolutely not dictate the size of the vision you're allowed to hold inside you. Not even a little bit.
So, as we wrap up this analysis, I want to leave you with one final, vital thought. If you felt even a tiny spark of hope while we were exploring this story today, do not let the dust settle on it. Your next chapter of success begins the exact second you dare to think big. So I just have to ask you, what is the vision in your heart today? Keep that mirror clean, protect your fire, and start writing your new chapter right now.